Good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into Sandra P's GenXtra. Hello. Welcome into Sandra P's GenXtra. I am glad to see everyone that is able to join me on the live. I appreciate you so much. It's Thursday. It's kind of a rainy, dreary day where I am, but that is okay. It's always clear in the YouTube streets, kind of like Sesame Street, I guess. I want to say welcome in. Thank you so much for your support. And I appreciate you, American born. So I'm glad to see AB down in the chat saying good evening, speaking to myself. I had a few things assembled that I said, let me just go ahead, do an extra and talk about it because Sandra P will be free to move about the cabin in a couple of hours. So I'll have some stuff to share once I get where I'm going. Welcome, Mama Bees. Thank you so much. One of the moderators that I appreciate so much, speaking to myself, chat, and mods. Thank you for dropping down in the chat. I was just sharing with American Born. I will be free to move about the cabin for kind of a long weekend. So I'm getting ready for that. And then I had a few items that they're kind of hot news now, but it cools off really quickly and is replaced with something else. So I'll just go ahead and share that. And I did review Ladies of London. We had the last episode, otherwise known as the finale. So they got 10 good episodes. Everyone, I believe, has been in the clubhouse. I'm not sure if Margot has been in the clubhouse, but she is back and forth to the States. So maybe she didn't get her turn yet. I don't know. Still not sure about the ratings. It was on Reddit and someone was saying it's about a third of what Beverly Hills brings in. I don't know if that's good enough. So it's doing better than Southern Hospitality, which is in its third or fourth season. I don't care for Southern Hospitality. I do not. If Emmy's back next year, Andy Cohen, we know something. That's going to be a problem. Emmy is a dangerous woman over there, what she's doing with Brad. I don't like it at all. So let me share. This is the lovely Missy Beccari. That's an older picture of her when she was younger. This is sad news, everybody. We know Missy has told us her messy story of when she was separated from, in the process of divorcing her first husband, who is a footballer, who she has her first child with. This young man's name is Jake Hall, and he passed away very young, everybody, 35 years old. So I'll just read a little bit of this. This is all we really know about it. The reality TV world is mourning the sudden loss of British star Jake Hall, who's passed away at the age of 35. He was best known for his time on The Only Way is Essex and had significant connection to the Bravo world as the father of a child with former reality star Missy Beccari. Now, reality TV_TV, Missy is not former. She is on the current show, Ladies of London. So that is where we know her from. The news has shocked fans on both sides of the Atlantic who have followed his journey over the years. I'm not familiar with him, but seeing him in this picture with Missy, I'm not sure if I've seen him before or not. Details surrounding his death indicate that it happened following a freak accident at a house party earlier this week. I'm sorry, one moment. I apologize. I got something in here going live. Excuse me, everybody. I apologize for that, especially reading news as serious as this. 35-year-old Jake Hall passes away. Excuse me. I do need to grab that, though. I had to have my phone on the charger. I get a little paranoid if it's not a full charge. So the details surrounding his death indicate it happened following a freak accident at a house party earlier this week. Emergency services were called to the scene, but they were unfortunately unable to save him. Jake had been working on his fashion brand and focusing on being a father in recent years after stepping away from the spotlight of reality television. The timeline of events is still being investigated by local authorities to determine exactly what happened during the gathering. All right, this article is kind of long. So this is terrible. The families asked for privacy as process the devastating news and make funeral arrangements. So the child that he has with Missy, I believe she said it is a son, is with Missy, and she has custody of that child. The scandal kind of came in, the one that she had within her marriage, the one that is with the footballer, she does not have custody of that one. So that is kind of, we don't really know what happened there. They need to get rid of Emmy. Yeah, American Born. This was Southern Hospitality. AB's referring to. Emmy is a dangerous girl. She's in some type feud with Brad, and she's doubling down, and she's dead wrong that she's intimidated by him, and he's so threatening. Of course, he's one of the few Black cast members, and he did not address or confront her in person. She's speaking of a threatening text. American Born says this was really sad. It's very sad. Welcome in, Kiwan JTV. Great to see you. Good evening, y'all. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. AB is greeting her. Kiwan JTV, you covered and you're familiar with Ladies of London. What I just had up, if you just walked in as we were finishing it, this is Missy, the lovely Missy from Ladies of London. And we know that her first husband, that she was married to him. She had one husband. This is the boyfriend. He's passed away at the age of 35 years old. Some type of freak accident on vacation, and she has custody of their child. So this is sad news for Missy, especially in light of her sharing the story of her brother's untimely death a few years ago, and then that being part of the storyline. This is terrible. I feel really badly for Missy and her breaking that to a young child. So we were speaking about that right before you came in, American Born. I saw an interview with Brad. He said they filmed the reunion and he would never talk to Emmy again. Abby, that's the safest bet. Sometimes people like her, I understand why people want to clear their name and state their case and that sort of thing. But when you're dealing with someone that fiction is their reality and they would pass a lie detector test based on what they said. And I think Emmy truly believes she's in danger of Brad. So his job is work with her on this reunion and then stay the heck away from her. His girlfriend, which is a mirror image of Emmy, she's young, she's white, she's blonde. I think she's a Southerner. She's right up in Emmy's face, telling Emmy, stop saying this, you're lying. And Emmy tried to act like this girl was threatening her. So I'd stay away from him too. Kiwan J, I never watched it. I only watched your reviews. Oh, okay, Kiwan J TV. So then you're like slightly familiar with the characters. Mrs. Best was reviewing it as well. Mrs. Best TV. She's full of ish. She is American Born. Sometimes I just get a little disappointed that Andy keeps those type characters around because they can be such a danger to us and he just doesn't seem to care at all. And I don't like that. I don't know why Andy does that. Bravo, the house that Nene Leakes built, they're making enough money over there. They don't have to put a young man's reputation and his very life in danger. I don't like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. All right, I'm going to pull up my watch later. I was at No Chaser TV last night. I shared it with a couple of people. I think everyone in here, the interview that he was doing with Pinky. She was over there in the lounge. Pinky did a really good job last night. I was proud of her. I love the way that she spoke to Chase, some of the things that she said, and he got very touched as well. So the one thing I do give Pinky is a master marketer. I'd wondered about, whether or not this show is great for her or not. She says it is. She's having a good time and she likes all the attention that she's getting. So I expect if Pinky comes back, she'll continue to use it to market. Getting eaten up in that match of words didn't seem to shut her down any, because again, she was on YouTube doing a pretty big interview with No Chaser TV and she did a really good job. So let me see. I was going to share a few things and I don't think I had it lined up. She came in. What was really funny, she came in and she was like, let's talk about these incestuous teeth. And Chase did not get off his path. He said, okay, we are going to get to that. They talk business and some other things, her past. We found out that we already knew that she had worked for the Maury Povich show, but she also was on she worked with Iyanla Fix My Life for 3 years in New York. And y'all, this was really creepy. Her Jamaican restaurant that Phaedra was talking about, woo child, Pinky served me. This restaurant, let me pull this up so you can see it. This restaurant that Pinky, there's Chase and Pinky. This restaurant that Pinky owned in New York, I was free to move about the cabin. I was getting my hair braided before I went on a trip. I was in New York. The church that I attended during my entire childhood is 220 West 145th Street. The place I was getting my hair braided is right across the street. That whole strip, That's where Pinky's Jamaican restaurant was. And that whole street, everything along there burned down. I did not know that Pinky had the restaurant there. This was years after we had already, we no longer attended that church because I moved to North Carolina and I was in college here. So I just thought the whole thing was just crazy how small the world is. I'm going to read a couple of comments and then cover some other news, but it's a pretty good interview. It's a part of the No Chaser TV. He does the panel and all of that, which is usually really enjoyable. And they talk about Bravo News and that sort of thing. But the first part of it was a really good Pinky Cole interview. So that is over here on YouTube. I'll take that down, read a few comments, and then I'll go back into what else I was pulling up and wanted to cover before I started talking about anything else. Let's see. American Born says, I hope she gets let go after this season. This is still Emmy. I do as well. I do. I missed the interview, but we'll go back and watch it. Yeah, it's worth it. It's only like, let's say maybe the first 20 minutes or so. I thought it was really good. And then let's see, yesterday when I was here, I didn't want to talk Met Gala at all, but the beautiful Lady Emma ended up being featured on a couple of pictures for Met Gala. I showed those. If I can find them, I'll show them again. But this story, this is from reality TV. And AB, we were also talking about this. You sent me one of these. Thank you. This is the beautiful Sade. She was one of the inductee. A lot of people, that is her name. She is a Silky Silky soul singer, but Sade is actually a band. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. So the #1 vote getter, which was my choice as well, they inducted 7 people. New Edition didn't make it this year because there's other criteria they use, but Sade and her band are in. So I'm very proud of that. She only blessed us with a tour like every 10 years. And I don't know if Sade would want to tour again. If she does, I would love it. But when she comes out, I'm there. Okay, let me share this. This is about Rula. Rula has a pretty good interview with Parade. Parade is a magazine, but they kind of sum this up with reality TV. And this is about Brian. So Rula is saying part of his business was given to the mistress. Y'all, I don't know what kind of craziness this is, but to sum it up, we know that Brian had the nerve to sue the mistress, or as Rula like to call this lady, a cockroach. She was doing it again in a recent interview with Parade. Rula, I don't like that. I don't know why she's calling this lady out of her name, because if the lady a cockroach and her husband Brian can't stay away from and still sleeping with a cockroach, what does that make him? And then you accept him back into your bed and into your life and your children's life. What does that make you? It could be a roach motel over there, but since I don't like to speak that way about people, I just hope that Rula, classy lady that she is, will stop calling this thirst bucket a cockroach. But Brian is suing this lady, first of all, for going against the NDA. A lot of these cheating men are doing NDAs now. I'd never heard of it until one of the people on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Chris Fletcher. We know Fletch, allegedly, and in my opinion, he might be out there as well in the streets. He said that the Scott brothers are over there getting women to sign NDAs. Martell Hull, I don't know that he's that dumb. His side piece is always online talking crazy. She's not been getting attention as of late because really it's no news. Melody gave the man to her, so thankfully we don't have to hear from her. But the news with this is the lady is countersuing Brian, as she should. I don't blame her. So we'll read a little bit of this. Rula explicitly confirmed that her husband, Brian, actually gave his mistress a portion of his business as part of a highly controversial arrangement. I think that's grounds right there. I mean, not only is he unfaithful physically, but he's unfaithful financially. This is terrible. This is part of their children's legacy. So he's giving part of his business to the mistress. So Rula explained Brian's ongoing lawsuit against the woman, which centers on a massive NDA drama and her alleged violation of confidentiality. So I'll give my take on that in a minute. I'll just read a little more. The mess involves the absolute financial entanglement of Brian's infidelity. So he's not faithful in any way. Rula's admission that a piece of their family's wealth was handed over to another woman has left the Real Housewives of Rhode Island cast in total shock. I know Joellen is about to go crazy. I was kind of getting on Joellen about all that yakking she's doing, but I can understand why her personality type is not able to leave this alone. And she did say, leave it to me and I'll investigate it. But this is in the news, so Joellen doesn't have to investigate. Brian is reportedly suing to recoup assets and silence the mistress after she began leaking details of their relationship, proving that his repentance was preceded by some incredibly reckless professional decisions. He's reckless personally and professionally. Y'all, I didn't think I could dislike Brian more. I dislike Brian more. Bravo viewers are finding it harder than ever to support Rula's decision to stay. I'm Bravo viewers. The tea is that the audience sees Brian's financial generosity toward his mistress as the ultimate betrayal of his marriage. Most fans are calling for Rula to secure her own legal counsel before Brian drains the rest of their estate fighting these lawsuits. Oh my goodness. Rula's currently focusing on her family's image while Brian's legal team handles the NDA dispute. Fans are divided on the situation. Brian's business handout to his mistress. Is it the most disrespectful act in Housewives history? I don't know. I don't know. We would have said Big Papa that whole situation was disrespectful, but we never knew who the wife was. Big Papa's name only came out like years later. And then Big Papa has gone on to glory. We know the name now, but we never saw his face, many of us. So this has to be it. Somebody said, does she blame Joellen? And another person says, this is worse than the cheating. Yeah, I think, well, the financial infidelity as well as the personal and cheating, they're both equal to me. Yes, she's still with him. Yeah, Rula, you're going to lose the crowd because I actually like Rula. He's divorce prepping. That could be true, especially if he ends up with this lady and she already has some of his business. Someone says, I feel sorry for the two children. All their friends will be viewing this. It's so humiliating for them. He never speaks up when asked about the affair on camera. Vile man. Yeah, he gets a hum. He can't even talk about it. Welcome in, Sharon Gobble. It is good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. And also CC. Hello, CC. Let me go back to make sure I don't miss anyone. The news blew my mind, shaking my head. American Born. We were talking about Missy from Ladies of London, everybody that just came in. She lost her child's father, 35-year-old Jake Hall, some kind of accident on his vacation at a party, something like that. So that's what we started with. Cece came in. She's one of the moderators. Thank you so much. She spoke to her fellow moderator, Mama B, spoke to myself, to American Born, Kiwan JTV, anybody in the bushes, because we have 7 in the chat, and I'm not sure how many likes. But those of you, if you haven't had a chance to like it yet, please do. And I would appreciate that so much. Here's Sharon Gobble saying hello. Hello, Sharon. Thank you for dropping in during the live, speaking to myself and to the chat. And Cece's leaving a comment about Rula's situation. The mistress must have some real information on Brian, or he's using her as a shell game to place money elsewhere when Rula divorces him. He is beyond a bum. Just terrible, Cece. One of the commenters said that he could be divorce prepping. Now, is this going to be a situation where Rula has every right to file? He's violated their marriage vows in every way, but she's going to let Brian get the drop on her, kind of like Teddy and Tina Campbell over there on Mary Mary, or formerly known as Mary Mary. They're still Mary Mary, but they haven't toured in a while. The show was Mary Mary, which people are restreaming because it's still relevant news now. And y'all know man number 2 has called out Teddy and said, me too, did. He's messing with me too. So this is where Tina is really trying to throw the book at him, the good book. She was preaching fire and brimstone. But Tina was really, she roughed him up a little, but she would let him get away with more when it was 1 woman, 2 women, countless women. But now that we've got the second man, all of a sudden she's preaching fire and brimstone. So I don't like that, Tina. Unfaithful is unfaithful. American Born says, I agree, something is off, to Cece. Yeah, Brian is a little weasel, y'all. We can't trust him. And then Rula's going to lose any goodwill that she has. Sharon Gobble is hugging, waving hello, and giving a love sign to Mama Bees. Everyone's speaking. F the family's image. See, that part surprised me too. F the family's image. Ruler better secure the bag for her and the kids. Yes. And now she has this new job. She was kind of getting some of the audience. She's a financial planner, so she has that business, but that's her white collar button down business. But she's looking stupid. Who would want a financial planner that would let something financially go like this? Like Cece said, secure the bag for your children. She better. That's what I'm saying, AB. She better. This is crazy. All right, so let me see what else. Let me take that down and then see what else was going on. And those of you that were not in here, there's a really good interview from No Chaser TV. He was speaking with Pinky Cole. Pinky Cole was over there on No Chaser TV. So that is what we were talking about as well. And Lady Emma Thin was in New York. Lady Emma Thin was in New York because she was attending the Met Gala. So Lady Emma Thin is that girl. She was actually with Serena and Serena Williams and her husband, Alexis. Okay, so here is a story. Let me just share this a little bit and then we'll go through it together. I'll pull it up. All right, if I can't hear, give me one you can hear it. Okay, that's the Bravo Shade. I can't play no Michael Jackson. All them songs are back in the charts, everybody. He back in the top 10. And that movie's gonna be a $1 billion movie. It's gonna cross 400 million this weekend. Okay, so Fallon, she said she knew the two of them were messing around and inappropriate the first time they're filming, but she didn't say anything. And then Simon trying to call Portia that she looks like a dog while they watching the episodes. You got to watch the men that do that, talking about she jiggled all that body fat. You know who wasn't complaining about body fat? Simon. And Fallon couldn't complain because Cece, what was she? Pregnant by somebody that worked for them. Oh, so you could, okay, thank you. You couldn't hear that. That is Fallon. All right, so I won't, let's see. Fallon was just complaining. I'm sorry about that no sound. Oh, me. Let me see. Can go. You can hear me, but you could not hear Fallon. Let me take that down. Okay, I won't try to share anything else. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but that was the Bravo Shade Room. It's Fallon. Fallon is telling us that she knew that the two of them, Simon, her ex-husband, but husband at the time, was talking to Portia at the time inappropriately. She claims the first day of filming and that they were downstairs with alone time talking together. But I think Fallon, of course, didn't say anything because she was pregnant as well. And she was actually inappropriate as well with the young man that she was with. He was working for Simon at the time and her in the house. And she's with him now. And that man has said he has felt almost groomed by Fallon. Two wrongs don't make a right, as Pinky would say. All right. Cece says Fallon is full of it. If that was true, she would have produced the receipts a long time ago. Yes, she was pregnant by the help. Yes, Cece, I think she didn't produce the receipts because she already had her own situation going on. That's a mess. But her doing all this talking, this is the Bravo Shade Room. I'm not sure who did the interview with her. All that talking that she's doing, it's not going to talk her back onto the show because they're already full. They're already full. They got the two newbies, Pinky Cole over there, K. Michelle. They're stirring up a lot of press, whether good or bad. You have the people that love K. Michelle. I don't know. I'm trying to see if K. Michelle's going to go down wrong road because I'm seeing some of the alliance type stuff again. And I hate that. And I hate to blame Shamia for it, but I do. I blame Shamia for it. Oh, thank you. American Born says, right. We couldn't hear the video, but we can hear you. Okay, American Born, thank you. That helps me kind of drill down what the problem is. I don't think there's something with the mics. I have to either mute myself and play the sound or mute the sound and just when I'm talking. There's something I have to do because sometimes I'm successful, sometimes not. So I got to make sure I'm doing it the same way every time. American Born says Simon is fighting back against Fallon. I'm sure he is from Dubai or Nigeria or wherever he has ended up. And I'm surprised he didn't start speaking against Bravo and that production company because the first episode or two, they were trolling Simon a little bit when Kelly was flapping her gums. I think I have something on her. Why is she trying to rewrite history again? Shaking my head, American Born says. It makes her look better if she's going to tell that lie. But a lot of people like Cece still remembers what it really was. Her being pregnant by the help. So like anybody would say, two wrongs don't make a right. No problem. It's all good. Thank you. I appreciate when you help me and let me know if I could be heard. I'm on a limb when it comes to K. Michelle. Sharon Gobble, me too. I was so excited her first episode because I wasn't happy to see her coming in. I didn't know what she was going to be bringing. And then the first couple of episodes, I really loved her. And now with the pouting and then not coming to dinner because of her glam, but then showing up later. So she's on camera anyway. And then this alliance thing I think she's doing, I don't like it. And allegedly there's something coming up where she's going to be into it with Drew. A lot of people are picking on Drew, and I don't like that. I don't know what's going on. Hang on, friend. I like her. So we got K. Michelle. Sharon Gobble's on the fence. I would say I'm still on the fence with K. Michelle, too. I like K. Michelle, but I don't know if this is the place for her. American Born, you think she's a little sensitive? I think she's a little thin-skinned. And she's been going crazy on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Anytime someone says anything, Cece says what it is. K is exhausting. K. Michelle is very exhausting. Puddin', you need to settle down. You're doing too much. Sharon Gobble is laughing. Okay, friend. Yeah, we have to agree to disagree on that because my views will change again. I didn't want her, and then I was glad to have her. And now I'm like, okay, I have to see what K. Michelle's going to do. So we're laughing about it. Anybody in the bushes or anybody that's new, Sandra P's GenXtra is a place where polite contrarians are welcome. And we'll change our mind based on whatever they show that week. Try to be objective, but somebody needs dragging. We will drag. We need to give her time. Yeah, she's pretty new. I feel like Pinky needs time too. I was glad to see Pinky on No Chaser TV last night because I would have kind of hid, maybe licked my wounds a little bit, but she didn't do it. Pinky was right out there in the YouTube streets. So let me see. I think I had a few more things. Another thing they're doing now that I can't say I love, I think they're doing a little bit too many previews. They've got a preview where we saw a little bit of maybe 50 Cent coming out, but she really is going to come out. I'll show the scene, but I don't know if the volume's going to play. So I'll tell you like what is happening with it. Let me show it right now. It's up. I muted my mic. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about the no sound. And also, everybody, I'm going to stop showing these too because I've had to cut them out later. They've been getting like stricken. All right. This is a preview that Bravo has put out. So the Bravo Shade Room has it, but it's also BravoTV.com. They have the YouTube channel. They'll put out the previews. They're on the Sprinter. I don't know where they're going. Another excursion. And 50 Cent is going to address Kelly and Shamia because the two of them are still doing too much about the dirty room, which I don't like them saying that the room is dirty. And Cynthia even had to say, please stop saying that the room is dirty. I couldn't find it, but I was reading somewhere. They were saying the lady that owns that home. Remember when they showed up, and I don't know if they got lost or not, but they landed at like between 1:30 and 2. And they were driving around until they didn't get to the mansion until about 6:30. So the owner of that beautiful estate, 25 acres, beautiful home, pool house, tiny house, were there. And she greeted them, to let them tour. For Kelly and Shamia to get on TV and tell anyone who will listen that the place is dirty. I don't know that it was dirty because we saw Kelly go jump on the bed. So I don't know. I said, did someone put their shoes on the bed? Now, I looked again. They showed the ceiling fan. That might have been dusty. So there were different things that did need to be done. But I think they were trying to set Cynthia up. And keep in mind, this is a work trip. Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome in, Linda Gamble. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. I appreciate you. I apologize for that. Let me go back and just make sure I read all the comments. But thank you for coming in, Linda Gamble. I saw you and then I started talking about something else. But thank you. I'm going to get Pinky time as well. They're new. American Born 2, yes. So those of you, if you're new, in the top, I think it's my left, we have Sandra P's Cloak of Immunity. That's just me in the trader's booth taking a picture. And I like the idea of a cloak of immunity, protecting usually new housewives. But some of them, if they're too ignorant and they get left back, like Shamia, they can still wear a cloak of immunity, or a new show like Real Housewives of Rhode Island. So I'll say covered in the cloak would be Pinky and also K. Michelle. Even though they're both known, they both have a name. Linda spoke to me when she came in. Thank you. Also spoke to American Born and to everyone in the chat. I sent you some new pics, some of the ladies in London to your DM. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'll look at those. They'll make the next extra or this one if I can grab them quickly. Mama Bees is speaking to Linda Gamble as well as everyone else. AB, Sharon, thank you so much. Sharon Gobble also usually tries to say who should have the cloak. Now she's trying to discourage me from wrapping it around Pinky. Sandra P, don't give Pinky a cloak. You didn't see Pinky getting dragged by the short hairs by Angela Oakley, who's only in her sophomore season, and she reading like an OG. I felt bad for Pinky. Pinky did the best she could, though. She really did. And let's see. Let me make sure. Just hit the sound on it, and it should play. Okay, thank you, American Born. Milton showed the home and said the pool house was really nice. It looked really nice. I couldn't find it on TikTok. Millie Chan might have put that in the extra. I have to go look at it. She's one of the creators that I do watch. And Linda Gamble speaking to everyone. Hello, CC, my niece, American Born, is laughing. Probably about this cloak. Sharon's laughing too. Yeah, Pinky, I have to let her have it, Sharon. K. Michelle's new, and she has it as well, so I have to. Now, Kelly, this is funny. I let Shamia have it. She's been left back, so this is her second season. I still let her have it, even though this might be her last season, y'all, if she don't shape up. I didn't give it to Kelly because I don't like how Kelly's moving. I don't like how Kelly's moving. I can't explain why I forgive Shamia for doing this whole alliance thing and not Kelly. Kelly might be a little bit smarter than Shamia. I don't know. I don't know, but we will see. But what I was just showing, without showing the sound, Cynthia is going to go off on Kelly, and you're not going to hear sound. I'm not playing the sound. Cynthia's going to go off, or as they put it, reach her breaking point over Shamia and Kelly's room situation. If you don't want to be here, leave. So I love her doing that. I support her fully. 50 Cent is going to let them know this is not a hostage situation. If you don't want to be here, leave. Because we know Cynthia is actually on a business trip. She had a private jet. She's there for her tequila. And she's working with Adrian Malouf of the Malouf family, formerly of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, formerly married to Paul, that is one of the doctors. He works with Terry Dubrow. So I don't blame Cynthia. I don't like when people do that. I actually called Phaedra out for her behavior in that meeting. And let me just read a couple more comments, and then I'm going to pull up the other photos. Pinky, K. Michelle, Shamia, and Kelly needs to go. Linda Gamble, they're going to need a whole new cast if you do that. Who would you like to see come in? Do you want Kenya back? I don't know if I talked about Kenya, but I don't know if you had said what you think should happen to Kenya. AB says take the cloak from Shamia. She's going to mess around and lose her husband if she isn't careful. American Born, she doubly need that cloak if she want to stay with Gerald. That man's tired of her. It's funny that when she called him and he was laughing about the state of the room, he still was like, can I call you back in 2 minutes? And she's like, yeah, from the clean house. This man was still laughing. I thought that was funny. AB says, I love that Cynthia's getting on them. Yes, I think Cynthia, sometimes people think she's a little sweet and they can run over her. Cynthia is a little sweet, but you can't run over her. Both things can be true. Because her and Nene used to get into it, and Nene would say, people blame me like I'm running over Cynthia, but she's 50 Cent. And she is. I would love to see Kenya back. Yeah, American Born. I think that could happen. I think she was just paused. I heard that Britt Eady is returning to RHOA. Linda Gamble, we know that Bravo will reward bad behavior if they don't want to end up getting sued and paying out such money. A lot of people think that is how, I'm a lot of people. I'm the one that thinks that is how the beautiful Kierna got over there on Real Housewives of Potomac. When she got jumped by Sesame Street and them, they didn't want her to sue them. This is what I'm thinking. Now they feel like a safe period of time has passed, and her performance wasn't that great last season, so they let her go. Honestly, I'll say this. I didn't think Britt was a fit. I didn't like Britt Eady. I didn't like the situation with her and her husband. Didn't care for him on screen at all. And I feel like she started with Kenya when she kind of threatened her after they had that little back and forth at Angela's event at the vault. And she mentioned whips and chains and guns for people like you. I didn't like that. I feel like she should have got in more trouble. And then Kenya's reaction is what got her paused or fired or whatever it is. But if Britt Eady comes back, I don't know. The tables were turning. When her and Kelly started to get into it, I was kind of sick of Kelly by then, and a lot of people were. And I think if Britt had shown up to the reunion, that didn't have to be one and done. So I didn't know why she didn't show up at the reunion. And then she was putting like these long paragraphs on Instagram. People were like, girl, you should went to the reunion. That's the time you air it all out. AB says, oh my God, I hope not, Linda Gamble. Yeah, I kind of stand on your side, American Born. I don't have to see Britt back. Sharon Gobble is the same. She said, me too. I don't have to see her back. American Born, did you see Angel got some new kind of show? Yes, I forgot to mention that. I follow her on Threads, and she announced, I don't even know who the streaming service is. She's doing one of those shows, like a HGTV type show. It's not on HGTV because I didn't recognize the channel. But I always thought Angel was better suited for that. She's over there zen. She's doing her garden, all that kind of stuff. I think that'll be a really big thing for her. I think that I'd love to see Angel doing that. I think that she's going to thrive doing that. All right, let me go back into my messages. I can find the last few things that you shared with me. Thank you. I'm not sure where they are at. This is Ladies of London. I set up a playlist. If you are new and you even didn't watch the show, Kimon J didn't watch the show, but she listened to reviews. Mrs. Best TV actually reviewed this show, as well as a few creators. I hope it comes back. That is Martha and Kimmy. Martha is Lady Martha. That's her. And Kimmy, that is Lady Martha. Let me see what else we have in there. Oh, that is our girl, Micah. Micah is doing really well. We can see Micah on American TV because she is an American. She actually has her etiquette business, and she's doing really well with that etiquette business. I saw her on either Sherry or Jennifer Hudson. I want to say Jennifer Hudson. And then she was on the Today Show as well. Kim is very stylish. I always say I think that's the best dressed cast on TV. I'm trying to think of who else out of the Housewives would be. Maybe Beverly Hills. And then Real Housewives of Atlanta. Certain ones. Because when they miss, they really, really miss. All right, that was Ruler's Business. They got sent to me. Oh, this was J. Carl. Everybody, I started with, I'll end with this. That'll be respectful. And this is another angle. This is, that is Missy from Ladies of London. And she has lost her child's father, J. Carl. He's her ex, 35 years old. So he was on reality TV as well. The Only Way is Essex. And then she is currently on Ladies of London. So he was on vacation in Spain. They're saying after a night out, he passed away. The other article I read said that there was some type accident. So condolences to Missy and to her child. That's terrible to actually lose him at 35, at any age, but at 35, that's really terrible. I'll read the last few comments and then I'll end because I think I have everything out of my mailbox that I wanted to cover. American Born says on The Real Housewives of Cheshire, they had an etiquette lady show up to a scene. Let me see. They had an etiquette lady show up in a scene. Yeah, and actually, I think that's really good for Micah. Isn't it set so young? 35, that's very young. So I feel really bad for Missy and for their child because their child is maybe a toddler, but to break that to the child and then for Missy to go through that. And then she shared with us part of her storyline, losing her brother just a couple years ago on Christmas Eve, shot in front of his family and no longer here. So that's really sad. I was hoping it was going to be Micah, but it wasn't. Also, they chose another etiquette coach. I think we'll start seeing a lot more of Micah. I think she has a lucrative business doing that, especially since she's now been accepted in the United Kingdom doing that. And she even brought her husband to the finale. So I thought that was really good. But everybody, thank you so much. We're right over 40 minutes. So thank you. I think that's a pretty good stopping place. Thank you for joining Sandra P's GenXtra. I appreciate you. If you didn't get to like on the way in, you can like on the way out. It still counts. Thank you so much. If your team replay, here's Cece. Thank you, Cece. Right on time. Thank you. Replay gang. Hit the like button. Drop a comment. Let's hype this video up. Yes. Thank you, Cece. I appreciate it. 7 likes, 6 in the chat. Thank you, Linda Gamble. I appreciate that. We're almost matching one of the Bush people. Please come out and click the like on the way out. Thank you. American Born. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, AB. I appreciate you and the news that you share with me. And it just gives us a lot to talk about in the chat. See you, Sharon Gobble, and everyone else. I will see you in the YouTube streets. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
I don't think that he's good for you.
How do you know what's good for me?
That's my opinion!
Don't you get it? Why can't anybody have an opinion but you?
That I don't think that he's good. That I don't.